Bishop Academy Books. Presenting The Children's Encyclopedia by Arthur Mee.
Dick Whittington and his cat. Dick Whittington was a poor country lad who, having lost his father and his mother, came to London to make his fortune. His only friend in the world was a cat, which he had picked up and fed when it was starving, and a very good friend it was to him. Dick used to think that the streets of the London were paved with gold, but he found that they were covered with hard stones, and on these stones he had to sleep with his cat for many nights. At last he got place as a scullery boy in the house of a rich merchant. Unhappily, the cook was a wicked woman, and she beat him every day and made him sleep in a garret overrun with rats and mice. These, however, were soon killed by Dick's cat, for the cat was an excellent mouser. The rich merchant in whose kitchen Dick worked was a foreign trader. He used to fill his ships with all kinds of goods, and send them to far countries where the goods could be sold at a great profit. And being a kind man, he allowed all his servants to put in his ships anything they wished to sell. One day, when he was about to send a ship to trade with the blackamoors, his pretty daughter Alice came into the scullery and said to Dick, "Now what are you going to put in for sale this time?" "I've only my cat," said Dick. "Well, put in your cat," said Alice. And to please her, he parted with the only friend he had in the world. But Dick soon began to miss his cat. The rats and the mice crept back to his garret and kept him awake at night, and the cook beat him more than ever. So hard did Dick's life become that one morning he tied all his things up into a bundle and set out to walk back to his home. He got as far as the village of Holloway and sat down on a stone to rest, and bow bells began to chime, and the sound traveled across the fields. "Turn again, Whittington, thrice Lord Mayor of London." That was what the ding-ding-dong of bow bells seemed to say to him. Poor Dick tried to laugh and began to cry, but he turned and went a little way along the road to Finchley. "Turn again, Whittington, thrice Lord Mayor of London," said bow bells, and he turned and went a little way along the road to Enfield. "Turn again, Whittington, thrice Lord Mayor of London," said bow bells. "After all," said Dick, "it's only the cook who treats me harshly. How kindly Alice spoke to me. I will turn again, as the bells say, and see what happens." Something happened as soon as Dick regained his master's house. The ship in which he had put his cat returned with the news his cat had been sold at a very great price. On arriving at the land of the blackamoors, the captain of the ship went to the king of the country and was invited to dine at the palace. There he saw an amazing sight. As soon as the dishes were placed on the tables, a vast crowd of rats and mice came and devoured all the food. "Oh dear," cried the king of blackamoors, "I shall not get anything to eat again today." "Good gracious," said the captain, "you ought to keep a cat in your palace to kill all these rats and mice." "A cat?" said the king. "What's that? Is it a new kind of lion? I have bought hundreds of lions and tigers, but none of them would kill a mouse for me." The captain sent a sailor to the ship to get Dick Whittington's cat. When the king of the blackamoors saw how quickly it killed rat after rat and mouse after mouse, he clapped his hands and shouted with joy and said he would buy it if it would cost him half his kingdom. "Will you take 6 sacks of gold for this wonderful little animal?" he asked. The captain agreed, and the ship came to London laden with sacks of gold. The wicked cook told the merchant that Dick was only a poor scullery boy without a friend in the world, and there was no need to give him the gold. But the merchant was an honest man. He gave Dick all the money and had him brought up as if he were his own son. And years after, Dick married Alice. He was made Lord Mayor of London 3 times, as Bow Bells had said. Such is the legend that grew up about Dick Whittington, who really was Lord Mayor of London. Jellyfish in Search of a Monkey. This is a tale they tell in Japan of the origin of the jellyfish we find stranded on the beach. Long, long ago, instead of soft tentacles, he had a bunch of legs as graceful as a greyhound's, and as for his figure, the proudest pig in Ireland could not vie with him for firmly arched, well-covered ribs. Naturally, he was the admiration of all the other fish, for besides being nimble and stately, he was the only deep-sea thing that could walk on land as well as swim in the water. Unfortunately, he was like only too many human beings, who simply rely on their good looks to make them popular, and do not trouble to develop their brains. This handsome creature was exceedingly stupid. One day, Jellyfish was strolling about the shore of a coral island when a flying fish shot out of the waves and told him that he was summoned to the palace of the Dragon King. As he approached the audience chamber, he could hear by the clanking of golden scales that the Dragon King was pacing about in the greatest agitation, but his brow cleared as he caught sight of Jellyfish. "I thought you would never come," he cried, "and the queen gets worse every hour. Listen. The doctors say she can be cured by swallowing the liver of a live monkey. You are the only fish who can go ashore. You must swim as you've never swum in your life, to the nearest bit of land, and persuade a monkey to return with you. If you succeed, I will make you Grand Warden of the Indian Ocean, with a right to a coronet of pearl shell and cowrie." Jellyfish hardly stopped to bow. In a very little while, he was wading out of the breakers onto a lovely island of palm trees and scarlet hibiscus. The first animal he saw was a small gray monkey with a friendly countenance. Jellyfish hailed him gladly. "How do, Master Monkey, there? I am sent by Dragon King of all the seas. You are to come to his palace." The monkey's shriveled face beamed with pleasure. Never had he dreamed of receiving a royal invitation, and here he was only too ready to accept this. For a little while, Jellyfish, with the monkey on his back, swam in silence, for he was short of breath. But soon he asked, "By the way, I hope you've got your liver with you?" The monkey was not handsome, like Jellyfish, but he kept his wits well polished. "Why do you ask?" he inquired. "Well," said Jellyfish, "the queen is ill, and she can only be cured by the liver of a live monkey." At this, the monkey exclaimed, "Dear me, what 1,000 pities! I left mine hanging out to air at the top of a coconut palm. We'd better go back for the thing at once." "We must indeed," said Jellyfish. No sooner was the monkey up his coconut palm than he called down, "Go away, stupid! I won't part with my liver for any queen in the sea or out." To clinch the argument, he threw nuts at Jellyfish till he ran into the sea. All his knees knocked together as he told the tale of his failure, and the Dragon King smoked with rage. When he had stammered out his last words, the monarch roared to his servants, "Beat him! Beat him within an inch of his life! Break every bone in his body! Beat him to a jelly!" As you can see for yourself, that is exactly what they did. How a Sultan Found an Honest Man. A sultan wanted to find an honest man to collect the taxes of his realm, and a wise counselor advised him to invite all the applicants to his palace. "I will show you the honest officer when you ask them to dance," said he. The applicants arrived and were told to advance to the sultan one at a time, through a dark and empty corridor. As soon as they were all assembled before the throne, the sultan said, "Gentlemen, I should very much like to see you dance." But all the applicants refused with many blushes except one man, who danced cheerfully and well. "That is the honest man," said the sage, pointing to the dancer. In the dark corridor, the wise men had placed sacks of money, and all the dishonest men had filled their pockets as they passed through to the sultan. If they had danced, their pockets would have sounded like money boxes being shaken, and so they had refused.